Welcome, dear souls, to a sacred journey of light and love that transcends the bounds of this world. You've been handed twice the hurdles, and yet you remain undefeated. Reflect on the chaos that's been swirling around your life lately. Twisting complications, unexpected twists, puzzles springing up from the shadows. In those circumstances, most would bow out. But not you. You persist. You inhale hope. You press forward. There's a higher purpose at play here, not mere happenstance. You stand unshaken while others falter at the slightest gust, absorbing every strike, without so much as a scratch on your resolve. The venom they've tried to inject, through sly insinuations or covert maneuvers, simply slides off your ironclad determination. In the shadows, cunning predators prowl, eyes gleaming as they eye your fortune, your vitality, even the quiet in your mind. Their hidden assaults aim to scatter your focus and drain your strength, hoping you'll stumble before you can lay another cornerstone in your vision of greatness. However, something remarkable has occurred. You've acquired an immunity they didn't anticipate. Your greatest teachers have been the very attacks that were intended to harm you. They have increased your tolerance to the point where they would kill regular people. You know deep down that you're still headed in the correct direction. That inner compass continues to point true north in spite of all efforts to divert you from your path, or cause you to question your route. Your intuition has sharpened to the point where it can surgically cut through deceit. You've reached a threshold where their schemes no longer register. This isn't indifference, it's your new fortress. Now is when your true strength ignites. You're weaving something extraordinary. The transformation unfolding within you runs deeper than mere toughness. While they aim to undermine you, you were quietly fortifying your core, nurturing your vision, enriching your spirit, and stacking your resources. Their diversions fell flat because you learned to transmute every jibe into fuel for your ascent. Every trick, every whispered curse, every attempt to derail you only underscores the unshakable bastion you've become. You've been posing as the vivacious, kind, and accommodating person everyone sees. It has been your most significant tactical edge. They regard you as easy prey, someone they can control and influence. They are unaware that a force of nature they never expected exists beneath that kind exterior. When pushed too far, your dark side, a protective shadow, emerges, and most people don't realize it until it's too late. Your adversaries have been assembling armies against you, recruiting more people to support their cause, and coordinating with your actions. The lovely irony is that everyone they send ends up falling into the same trap. They continue to expect different outcomes from the same unsuccessful tactics. Every new recruit learns what the previous one had to learn the hard way. You cannot be broken, moved, or defeated. The fox that has been prowling around your assets is going to discover that you are not your typical person. You can soar over whatever hurdle they put in your way because you are a fairy with wings. There is something in your genes that they cannot understand or fight. Instead of leaving you cash in a bank account, your forefathers bequeathed you magic in your DNA. This force is laying dormant, awaiting the ideal time to come to life, and that time has arrived. Yellow heart if you feel the divine love. Now is the time to share. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to contribute $50 or more and help us spread God's blessings. What you do is being watched and serves as a seed, and in the future it will come back to you a millionfold. You're learning that the spiritual gifts you got are passed down through the generations and are only used by those who are deserving. All of the strength, immunity, and tolerance you have developed may be traced back to ancient power wells that are still coursing through your blood. You've discovered the secret that scares your adversaries the most. Your silent prayers are more powerful than their loudest incantations. They spend their money on intricate rituals and intricate spells. Your strength comes from the source, which requires total surrender to divine will at no cost. Their blackness is rendered obsolete by the frequency that you have access to. 1,000 spells from their tainted souls are defeated by a single prayer from your pure heart. For this reason, they are becoming more frantic, expanding their ranks, and intensifying their attacks. They believe they have already won the war, but they are losing it. Your troubles have been primarily created by the people closest to you, including family, old friends, and those who ought to have been enjoying your successes. From inside your own circle, they have been taking your inheritance, obstructing your blessings, and undermining your advancement. But what they took in secret is about to be made public with interest, because heavenly justice never sleeps. Your greatest breakthrough was sparked by the same treachery that crushed your heart. Not only are you getting back what was taken, but you're also getting twice as much. God has been purposefully keeping you away from poisonous bloodlines, polluted surroundings, and dream killers posing as family members. This was preparation, not punishment. The doors that slammed in your face, the rejection you faced, and the loneliness you felt were all divinely arranged to set you up for a promotion that your former circle couldn't manage. You've been promoted to a spiritual level that calls for new connections, settings, and degrees of protection and provision. The symptoms have been building for months. The way some people seem to be unable to look you in the eye, and the way your presence seems to interfere with their well-laid plans. They've been researching you, examining your trends, and looking for vulnerabilities to take advantage of. But what they've found has completely shocked them. Not only are you resilient, but you're also changing. Every assault has strengthened you. Every betrayal has increased your wisdom. Every setback has strengthened your resolve. In their experience, they have employed these similar strategies on innumerable others, with disastrous results. Therefore, the phenomenon you have been experiencing is exceptional. You hardly notice the psychological warfare that made other people into shells of their former selves anymore. Somehow, the financial sabotage that caused others to become impoverished has returned to its originators. Your system has absorbed the health attacks that sent others to the hospital and turned them into vigor. A chosen one who becomes stronger under duress is something they have never dealt with before. You no longer sleep the same way. You're having prophetic dreams that foretell their next movements before they happen, in place of the restless nights they taught you to have. Long stretches of time spent in communication with your spiritual guides have replaced the sleeplessness they attempted to curse you with. The nightmares they tried to instill in your mind have changed into images of your fate coming to pass. Your unconscious mind has been turned into a weapon to further their goals. If you send us a super thank you of $20, it is the first grain of blessing that falls on the soil of hope. Over time, it becomes a tree that bears fruit in someone's life. You've noticed patterns in the seemingly random ways that the technology around you has been malfunctioning. Their tracking systems lose your signal at critical times. Their recording devices pick up spiritual frequencies instead of your conversations, and their surveillance equipment malfunctions when you're around. Forces beyond their comprehension are taking control of the very tools they are using to keep an eye on you, because you are operating at a frequency higher than what their sensors can detect. Your presence interferes with their technical witchcraft. From sporadic intuition to ongoing divine direction, your intuition has developed into your main navigation system and has never failed you. It is the inner knowing that guides your decisions, the voice in your head that whispers warnings, and the gut instinct that keeps you safe. This is the reason their ideas fail before they can take root. Their traps stop working, and their deceptions fail. They are unable to access or comprehend the intelligence you are using. Your health has turned into an impregnable fortress. The enigmatic ailments that used to afflict you for months now go away on their own in a matter of days. The long-term ailments that physicians were unable to diagnose have just disappeared. Your energy-draining tiredness has given way to an almost miraculous level of stamina. Your body has transformed into a temple that heals all wounds, neutralizes all poisons, and rids itself of all toxins. Your health is protected by something stronger than any medication. Therefore, they can't affect it. Their biggest cause of annoyance is the emotional manipulation that once broke your heart. They no longer have the buttons they pushed so effortlessly. The things that used to send you into self-doubt spirals have been turned off for good. Something beyond their comprehension has healed the emotional scars they used to manipulate you. They're attempting to harm someone who can no longer be harmed in the ways they recall because you've developed emotional resilience, rendering their psychological attacks pointless. The isolation they imposed on you is exposing its actual intent. Every bridge they burned was leading to places you were never supposed to go. Every link they broke was tainted with their objective, and every relationship they destroyed was tainted with their influence. In reality, the loneliness you experienced was a purification ritual that cleared your life of any evidence of their dominance. While your actual strength evolved, you were shielded from pollution and kept in spiritual quarantine. Dove brother and sister, everything done in faith is returned in God's abundance. You can donate $100 using the Super Thank You button and be part of this divine call. If your roots are connected to Him, your fruit will be blessed. The new community that is emerging around you functions on entirely different tenets than the ones you were previously familiar with. These folks can tell right away what you're really like. They don't have to be convinced of your value or your strength. They can see you right away, and they are attracted to your brightness like moths to a flame. Your current relationships are founded on sincere affection, respect for one another, and a common goal. Since these relationships are based on the truth, they cannot be tainted. The Divine Command Center is now directly accessible through your prayer practice. Heavenly Headquarters is processing your confidential requests with the urgency of emergency bulletins. The angels assigned to your case have been putting in a lot of overtime, and the results of their labors will soon be apparent in the material world. Any adversary who has ever touched you will soon realize that touching God's chosen ones is the worst thing a person can do. Your capacity for creativity has blossomed beyond your wildest expectations. Like water through a broken dam, ideas flow through you, and fully developed answers to problems emerge in your head. While you sleep, innovations that have the potential to transform entire sectors are downloaded into your mind. In addition to improving you personally, this creative explosion is getting you ready for the tasks you're going to accomplish in the real world. You're getting the resources you need to achieve your goals. Your very existence has undone the generational curses that once afflicted your family line. Your entrance has disrupted the centuries-long patterns of poverty, illness, and failure that characterized your forebears. You're rewriting the history of everyone who came before you and everyone who will follow, in addition to experiencing your own life. Your family will benefit from the breakthrough you're having for many years to come. It's no coincidence that you woke up at this precise moment. The world is about to enter a period in which new systems are being built, and the old ones are disintegrating. The destruction of buildings that have outlived their usefulness is the cause of the chaos you observe around you. It is not random. You have a part to play in the future, which is why you are waking up now. You're contributing to the transition's design, not just getting through it. Your adversaries have been functioning under a deadly misunderstanding. They believe that you are weak because you seem kind, because you chose kindness, because you value peace. They interpreted your restraint as helplessness and your spiritual discipline as incapacity. However, restraint is controlled strength, not weakness. And the world trembles when someone who is actually powerful finally chooses to take off their constraints. The entire emotional structure of your existence has been rebuilt. Do you recall how effortlessly they used to control your emotions? When their criticism could cause you to doubt your value, when one hurtful phrase could send you into a downward spiral of self-doubt. Those times are gone. Once so successful, the emotional manipulation now comes off of you like bullets from Superman's chest. They didn't expect you to acquire emotional immunity, but you have. After years of being poured into your ear, the poison has finally ceased working. The methods of gaslighting that used to make you doubt your sanity are now blatantly obvious. Their manipulations are transparent to the naked eye. The false narratives they propagate, the character assassinations they do, and the lies they tell about you all fall off you like water off a duck's back. Their opinions no longer matter to how you see yourself, since you know who you are. You no longer have the trauma bonding that used to keep you connected to poisonous people. Something much stronger than human effort has shattered the psychic bonds that led you to feel that you required their acceptance, presence, and validation. You no longer have to prove yourself to individuals who weren't deserving of your time or effort in the first place. Your neurological system has been modified to withstand stress levels that would kill normal individuals. The panic attacks that once immobilized you have given way to moments of spiritual clarity. The melancholy that once overwhelmed you has given way to an unwavering joy that comes from understanding your true purpose. And the worry that once paralyzed you has given way to delighted anticipation. Your mental well-being has grown into a stronghold that is impregnable by outside forces. If your heart is moved to give $50, that love carries the good news to the world that God says, it is a greater joy to give than to receive. The account of the physical attempts to break you is even more amazing. The accidents that occurred at the most inconvenient moments, the inexplicable illness that persisted, and the fatigue that defied medical explanation were all planned. However, your body has turned into an impenetrable fortress. Something far more potent than any remedy has neutralized the actual poison they have been putting into your food, beverages, and surroundings. Divine intervention has enhanced your cellular structure. The energetic assaults on your body have also been ineffective. You have absorbed and transformed the electromagnetic frequencies they have been exposing you to into life force energy. Compound interest has been applied to the mental attacks that were directed at your organs. Instead of draining your vitality, the witchcraft ceremonies have produced a feedback loop that draws energy into your system. Every time they attack you, they are actually strengthening you. You no longer have the sleepless evenings they taught you to have. Instead, you're having prophetic dreams that foretell their next moves before they happen. Long stretches of time spent in communication with your spiritual guides have replaced the sleeplessness they attempted to curse you with. The nightmares they tried to instill in your mind have changed into images of your fate coming to pass. Your unconscious mind has been turned into a weapon to further their goals. For you, aging itself seemed to have slowed down. You seem to be growing younger, more energetic, and more dazzling than your peers, who exhibit indications of wear and tear from life stresses. For you, the stress that quickly aged others has become a source of renewal. The difficulties that degrade other people's bodies have turned into chances for you to improve your physical attributes. While your adversaries age quickly, you are aging more slowly. The fairy tale really starts at this point when you learn that the magic they believe to be unique to them actually runs in your family. In addition to ancient jewelry and photos, your great-grandparents gave you access to spiritual technology that had lain dormant for many centuries. Everything that has been happening to you, the dreams, the visions, the sudden knowledge, is the activation of your birthright. Your adversaries have been functioning under a deadly misunderstanding. They believed that you were weak because you seemed kind, because you chose kindness, because you value peace. They interpreted your restraint as helplessness and your spiritual discipline as incapacity. However, restraint is controlled strength, not weakness. And the world trembles when someone who is actually powerful finally chooses to take off their constraints. The anti-you recruitment drive has gotten more and more desperate. By forming alliances with the resentful and the broken and offering incentives to those who support them, they have been connecting with anybody who would listen. Everybody who has ever attempted to oppose you has become caught in their own web. The universe's method of defending its favored ones frequently involves letting adversaries harm themselves out of self-interest. The first wave of attackers who came for you with such confidence only to mysteriously lose everything they valued. The second group who believed they could succeed where the first failed only to suffer the same mysterious reversals. And the third battalion, who were so certain they had the right strategy only to find out that attacking you was like trying to punch water, impossible to hit, and they only hurt themselves in the process. You have been witnessing this pattern repeat itself. The battlefield is going to undergo a significant change as the spiritual conflict reaches its climax. Those prayers you've been murmuring in the dark, those protection spells you've been performing without realizing it, and those times when you've fully given yourself up to divine will have been building up into something amazing. Without recognizing it, you have been constructing a spiritual stronghold, and now the walls are finished. A hard lesson about the distinction between predator and prey is about to be delivered to the fox energy that has been around your finances. They've been researching your investment strategy, income sources, and spending habits in an effort to disrupt your supply chains. What they fail to realize, however, is that your provision originates from an endless well that they are unable to poison, block, or access. Glowing star, if you want to witness God's miracles, act now. Contribute $100 or more through Super Thank You on YouTube. Your offering is like a seed that comes back to you when planted. Let His light illuminate your steps. Every donation is an echo in His plan. Their planned financial sabotage has turned into a masterwork of heavenly economics. Every door they've slammed has forced you to find windows that lead to higher floors. Every dollar they've stolen has been replaced with 10. Every chance they've obstructed has been redirected to something better. When aimed at you, the economic warfare that has destroyed others seems to backfire spectacularly. Before it reaches you, every financial curse they give turns into a godsend. You have a very different relationship with money now. You now move from abundance and faith, where you previously functioned from lack and fear. Instead of hoarding resources out of fear, you now distribute prosperity with heavenly assurance. Opportunities now vie for your attention where you once pleaded for them. You now have an unwavering confidence that your provision is guaranteed, replacing the financial instability they attempted to implant in you. The companies they have attempted to shut down are now more prosperous than before. The testing has strengthened the alliances they have tried to undermine. The investments they attempted to control have grown more than they could have ever imagined. The irony is so strong that you could cut it with a knife. Every plan they have devised to make you poor has made you richer. After they put so much effort into destroying your credit score, it has somehow been restored. Through unexpected means, the debt they contributed to has been paid off. The banks that once turned you down are now vying for your business. Through unexpected means, the money that vanished from your accounts has been recovered, along with interest. Compound interest rates apply to divine justice. The theft of your inheritance was only the first step toward their demise. In their hands, the money they believed would help them rise has become a curse. They have gotten closer to being destroyed with each dollar they have stolen. The business they created with your inheritance keeps losing money. The automobile they bought with your money keeps breaking down, and the house they bought with your money has turned into a jail. They are learning that blessings that have been stolen have built-in self-destruct mechanisms. They attempted to keep you from accessing the generational money, but it has now found new ways to get to you. The divine resources that have taken the place of the familial resources that were blocked are far greater than anything your ancestry ever had. A spiritual heritage that is impervious to theft, depletion, and loss has supplanted the earthly inheritance that they denied you. Your actual inheritance, which is worth more than they ever thought, is now being given to you. Forces beyond their control have secured your financial future. The sources of revenue that are coming your way are growing every day. The opportunities that are being presented are unlike anything you have ever encountered. The resources that are being made available to you are boundless and boundless. It's not simply money that's coming your way. It's the financial support for your heavenly mission here on earth. The members of your family who stole your inheritance are going to learn that they have a curse on themselves in addition to the money they took. The cousin who falsified your signature on the inheritance documents has been dealing with unexplained health problems that medical professionals are unable to identify. The sibling that persuaded everyone that you weren't worthy of your share has been seeing their own kids suffer from the same kind of poverty that they attempted to keep you in. The parent who prioritized greed over justice has been aged quickly, their peace being eaten away day and night by guilt. All of the gains made by the uncle who planned the entire operation have been lost, and more. Every member of the family that took part in this treachery has been feeling cosmic justice in a different way. The person who hid assets was audited by the IRS and found guilty of tax evasion. The person who manipulated legal documents was disbarred and faces criminal charges. The person who bribed officials was exposed in a corruption scandal that made headlines, and the person who lied in court has been caught in ever more complicated lies that are ruining their reputation. Family get-togethers have devolved into awkward silence drills. They are unable to look at one another without recalling their actions. Because the guilt is eating away at them from the inside out, they are unable to appreciate their stolen earnings. Their consciences torment them every night, making it impossible for them to sleep soundly. Because of their humiliation and the weight of their betrayal, they are unable to go on. When you give $100, not only we bear witness, but the sky bears witness. You are now one of those who are a bridge to heaven. Your family's youngsters, who were not involved in the heist, are starting to turn away from the criminals. They are making different decisions and seeing the results of their parents' behavior. Some people are contacting you to express regret for crimes they did not commit and to ask for forgiveness and healing. The harmful behavior of their elders is being rejected by the younger generation. Since the money was embezzled, the family firm that was expected to profit from your stolen inheritance has been beset by issues. Equipment malfunctions frequently. Staff members abruptly leave. Clients complain about poor service. And income continues to drop because it was founded on cursed money, which is insufficient to support respectable businesses. The company is failing. Rumors and whispers about what they did to you have ruined your family's reputation in your neighborhood. Once respected individuals now regard them with distrust and contempt. Their avarice has caused the social status they so diligently cultivated to disintegrate. Their treachery has tarnished the legacy they wish to leave behind. In their own community, they are turning into social outcasts. The greatest gift they ever offered you will be discovered to be the seclusion they forced upon you. Every family member who turned their back on you, every friend who left you, every opportunity they missed, all of it was making room for something extraordinary. While your actual strength evolved, you were shielded from infection by a spiritual quarantine. In reality, the loneliness you experienced was solitude, and gods are born in solitude. Your previous relationships will be essentially different from the current ones that are entering your life. These folks will see your actual character right away. They will see you right away and be attracted to your light, like moths to a flame. So they won't need to be persuaded of your value or strength. Not only does the community you're entering value your gifts, they need them. The Divine Command Center is now directly accessible through your prayer practice. Heavenly Headquarters is processing your confidential requests with the urgency of emergency bulletins. The angels assigned to your case have been putting in a lot of overtime, and the results of their labors will soon be apparent in the material world. Any adversary who has ever touched you will soon realize that touching God's chosen ones is the worst thing a person can do. Judgment Day is coming, and the last encounter is drawing near. All debts will be paid, all accounts will be resolved, and all masks will be taken off. The people who used to frighten you are already starting to run away in panic. The hunters are now the hunted. The roles are being reversed, and the tables are turning. You're living in the abundant realm you were always destined to be in, walking in the unending bounty of divine favor, and embracing the fullness of your authority without apology. The chosen one has started the victory lap. The entire spiritual world is now paying attention to you since you've roused a sleeping giant inside of yourself. You have ownership documents in addition to access to the kingdom. You are surrounded by security elements that are more powerful than any earthly defense. The highest authority in the world issued the certification you currently possess. What feels like an attack is actually an upgrade. What appears to be a coincidence is actually divine orchestration. You are at the right place, doing the right thing, and developing into the person you were meant to be. This story's predicament has been resolved, but not in the way your adversaries anticipated. The issues that had looked so insurmountable have now served as stepping stones to your success. The disorder that was all around you has been turned into the foundation for your rebuild. You've exposed and neutralized the fox energy that was hiding around your resources. Medicine has been created from the poison that was meant to kill you. Before the first shot was fired, the battle was already won, so it was never truly yours. You are chosen, not fortunate. You're thriving, not just surviving. You are not weak. Rather, you are force in human form, moving among others who misinterpret your tenderness. However, the mask is being removed, the wings are growing, and the happily ever after you've always earned is finally starting to inscribe itself on the pages of your fate. Your tolerance and immunity are unbreakable and permanent, respectively.